condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so right before I started, I saw some breaking news that the U.S. they have bombed Iran, and they claimed that it was in self-defense, mind you, preemptive. Okay, so we got to talk about that really quick. All right, so hey, Cherokee descended Dale. All right, Greta Lee, Deronda, we the people, Chris B, Chili Willie from Philly, Cookie is here. All right, let's get into it. Claudette, Love Christie. Okay, Christopher Perkins, Nessa G. All right. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Okay, Danielle, I see you, beloved. Leon is here. All right. Shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Hey, Alice, Trisha, and Desmond. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. I see you, Emperor Rex. Okay. Let's get ready to get into these receipts. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Hold on, not share my screen. We're going to have a brief word from my sponsor, and then we'll get into it. Hey, BB. All right, here we go. Blessed child of Yah is in the virtual building. Okay, let's get into it.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Kratz. You can also find it at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, we're going to first go to these war updates. And I see Trump is on here doing a live briefing or press conference, and I'm sure he's telling lies. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
They have
inside the U.S. There's reports that they have pressed that trigger button to activate those cells, at least abroad.
well, they've been trying for a long time. We've been very much on top of it. One of the things we have to do is get the Democrats to stop the Democrat shutdown, because, as you know, the apparatus that looks into that, Schumer and the Democrats have shut it down, which tells you they probably hate our country a lot. But the Democrats have to open that up. But we've got very, very good intelligence into that. We know a lot of different things that have happened that have been very bad. A lot of them came in during the Biden open border period, but we have them under, we've got them, we're watching every single one of them. Yeah, we know a lot about them. The biggest problem we have is the Democrat shutdown. We know a lot about them, but the shutdown doesn't allow us to do what we have to do.
Yeah, please.
You have to take him out. Does he have a target on his back?
You mean the new supreme leader? You mean the son?
How can there be an Iran?
Well,
with
I don't
Ayatollah?
want to say that, but I was disappointed because we think it's going to lead to just more of the same problem for the country. So I was disappointed to see their choice.
Thank you, sir. You've said you have someone in mind to be the new Iranian leadership, if not the Ayatollah's son. What are you looking for in that person? Are you looking at someone internal, given that you just said that their leadership has been
I like the
decimated and
idea
wiped
of internal and eternal, come to think of it. But I like the idea of internal because it works well. I mean, I think we've proven that so far in Venezuela. We have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president.
Okay, I think we've heard enough from the liar in chief. Let's go to these updates that were posted on TikTok. I don't have time for the lies at this point. I'm sure you all don't either.
30 minutes ago, the U.S. bombed Iran yet again, striking the Navy and missile launch sites near the Strait of Hormuz. American Military Central Command has already confirmed this has happened. They're calling it a preemptive self-defense strike. The United States have clearly lost the war, and the peace deal they're about to sign is a surrender. So this is Trump telling the military, go bomb Iran. Let's see if we can get them to respond. And because the Iranians didn't respond, the Americans now look really stupid. Because at this current state of the ceasefire, the Iranians hold the upper hand. So if war resumes, the Americans think maybe we can win the next war and get the upper hand in negotiations like Iran has now. And this just didn't work. Instead, it makes you look very stupid, makes the Iranians look very patient and restrained. So the Iranians in the middle of negotiations aren't attacking you. Why are you attacking them while you're talking about a great peace deal? It's because Trump is afraid and terrified of taking any peace deal that the Israelis do not want. So afraid and terrified that he's ready to risk a whole nother war that could become even worse. Comment your thoughts why you think this is going.
That's exactly what it is. Didn't I tell you all that Satan Yahoo does not want peace? All he wants is more war in the Middle East, and Trump is afraid of him. And I also believe that Trump is being blackmailed. Okay, Bibi has the goods on him, I'm convinced. So with that all being said, he was all ready for the peace deal. And here's the thing. He had not spoken to Bibi. It was reported that he sidestepped him, okay, and was making a deal that had not been finalized as of yet. And then as soon as Satan Yahoo found out, he started crying and playing the victim and just talking about, oh, this is not in the best interest of, is not real. Well, I thought that our president for the United States should do what's in the best interest of the United States, not is not real. Okay, so then with that all being said, I guess Bibi got in his ear and told him what he better had do. And so here's where we are, okay? That's just what it is. And what that guy just said is right, that he's afraid of taking a deal that is not real, it's not going to like. Let's go to the next clip. It's all so nefarious.
So, Donald Trump decided to conduct a military strike against Iran today in the name of self-defense.
Welcome to a special edition of CNN Newsroom. I'm Brianna Keeler, and we have breaking news. Explosions rock Iran. U.S. Central Command just confirming that U.S. forces targeted Iranian military facilities responsible for launching a series of attacks against American warships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media had reported blasts that were heard in the border city of Bandar Abbas. That's home to a key Iranian naval and air base along the strait. Iranian state media also reporting explosions in other cities as well. The attacks coming as intense discussions are underway tonight to end the war in Iran, but a deal is not in place. Iran's top security official declaring tonight, quote, there will be no retreat. And there's
Guess that means we won't be getting cheaper gas prices anytime soon because Donald Trump once again decided to restart the war between the United States and Iran. Yeah, and good luck to him getting the nuclear dust that he said we were about to get and bring over here to be destroyed. I have never ever in my life seen so much incompetence coming out of one administration like I'm seeing right now. Every day we're about 2 weeks away from this conflict ending, only for Donald Trump to make a mockery out of the United States by restarting the conflict on Memorial Day. This is truly pathetic, to say the least.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And Satan Yahoo's got him by the BALLS. Okay, that's just what it is. That is exactly what it is. Let's go to one more clip. Gas prices are about to get extremely high. And let me just tell you all something. Iran is not going to be trying to sign a deal with them anytime soon after this, because first of all, this is the second time, is it not, that Trump has in fact been in the midst of negotiations with them and then did this. This is how the war started, if you all remember. Okay, they were supposed to be negotiating, and then what did Trump do? Went over there and bombed them at the behest of Satan Yahoo. What an idiot.
So apparently we've just bombed Iran again, even though Trump was on his little social media platform talking about how they were really close to a peace deal. Mind you, Iran said that's not even on the table. And Congress had convened and was ready to call a vote. And because Trump was about to lose, Mike Johnson closed it out and sent everyone home so that they couldn't put an end to it. And so now we've bombed them again. They already control the Strait of Hormuz. They're not budging. And our gas prices are fucking astronomical with no fucking end in sight.
Okay, she's doing too much cursing for the queen. Ashkan said in the Talmud, if a slave wishes to remain a slave, he must pierce his ear in public for all to see. Isn't that what happened to Trump? Really? Well, that certainly explains a lot, beloved. Okay, so you mean to tell me Trump, with that fraudulent attempted assassination, okay, when he had the piercing of his ear, no less? Now, I knew he did that for Bibi and them because I remember reading something about the ear being pierced, or I heard one of them say it, but I didn't know that meant that the person wants to remain a slave. So that's clearly what it is. That's clearly what it is. I have to agree with you, Ashkan. Thank you for the information, beloved. Okay, but here's another thing. You know, maybe we should all feel sorry for poor little old Trump, because maybe him being so stupid and asinine isn't his own fault. I mean, I would have to think that anyone with an IQ, dare I say, of 73. Yeah, I have the receipts right here. Yeah, I'm not making this up. They say that supposedly they've gotten a hold of Trump's IQ reports, and it's a 73. Y'all think I'm playing? Let's go to it. This is all crazy. Now, see, I was saving this tidbit of information for tomorrow. But since we're here, let's go ahead and talk about it, okay? Please pay attention. Right here is what we have going on, folks. Trump IQ test results discovered in former in New York MA employee's closet. The results, 73, the results of an IQ test that President Donald Trump allegedly took during his first year at New York Military Academy. You all know he went there because I showed you all the pictures of him in his little old uniform, okay? He wasn't crying about bone spurs then because that was just school. Anyway, have been discovered in a foul box in a closet in Brooklyn. According to the test results, Trump's IQ was 73. The document is currently in the process of being authenticated, was discovered Thursday by William Askew Jr. as he was cleaning out his late father's apartment. Dad was the school counselor at New York Military Academy and from 1955 to 1985. He did administer these tests, but he was in charge of collecting them and sending them to the grading office, says Askew. Trump, you thought nobody was going to find this out. Talking about my IQ is very high. These low IQ people. See, now I get it. Now I get it. Remember how he gets mad at people and he loves to call them low IQ? It was him projecting. He was talking about himself. Are y'all listening? I absolutely love this for you, Trump. Okay, I absolutely love it. Now the cat is out the bag. Okay, when the truth comes out. But let me continue. Goes on to say, Askew produced additional documents and photographs that confirm his father was indeed employed as school counselor at New York Military Academy at the same time Trump attended the military prep school. Oops, yikes. Hate to have it happen to you, Trump. I don't think this should be news to anybody, said Askew. The guy's clearly a total moron. Woo, how would I tell you guys when I found out that tidbits of information? I was ecstatic. I mean, that just made my day. Okay, that just literally made my day. And so let me just tell you all this. Y'all know that's low, right? Let's get into it. I pulled up the receipts just to show you all in case anybody missed it. Okay, I pulled it up just to let y'all see. I typed in it, yes, and I typed in is a 73 IQ low. Listen, I know it is because somebody who's mentally challenged, they're around that range. They're like, usually like a 60 to like 70. Okay, so I knew it was low, but listen, I just wanted you all to see for yourselves. Now, pay attention. It says the average IQ on most standardized tests is 100, and the vast majority of people score between 85 to 115. Here is how a score of 73 fits into the standard classification. 70 to 79 classified as borderline. I love it. It's borderline intellectual functioning. People in this range may process information more slowly and find abstract reasoning, complex problem solving, or multi-step planning more challenging than the general population. Now, pay attention to what I told you about the people from like 60 to 70. Below 70 typically considered the threshold of an intellectual disability, which also requires evidence of difficulty with daily life and adaptive skills. See, he's not too far above someone who's mentally challenged. Okay, please pay attention. Now, you see, I've known this for years, not about Trump per se, but about the low functioning IQs, because I remember when I was in college, there was a guy that was on death row, and they said that his IQ was like 70. And they were debating, or his lawyers were arguing, that this man was not mentally competent, that he was in fact mentally challenged and likely didn't even understand the heinous crime that he had committed, so that they should have at least given him life in prison rather than the death penalty. I want you all to pay attention. Now it all makes sense, does it not? Why he's always calling people low IQ? Yeah, that's exactly why. Stupid arse. Okay, he's just a dumb arse. Like that guy said, a whole moron. Okay, but let's continue. All said. But this is y'all's president. Okay, Daniel said, I remember that, Queen. See, you saw it too. Yeah. This is all. Deronda said, his frontal temporal lobe is definitely challenged. Okay, absolutely. But remember, he was the same one making fun and mocking a mentally disabled person. Okay, that's what he was doing, a mentally challenged person. So anyway, before we let's not continue on with that. Let's get into Elon. Elon has all these trillions of dollars that clearly he doesn't have anything better to do with besides worry about Black people every day, because that's all he's ever doing is posting on his social media platform, just racist things and all of that, and crying and playing the victim and acting like white people are so disparaged and as if they're the ones being oppressed. Okay, and then talking about Lupita Nyong'o, playing Helen of Troy. I find that interesting because, first of all, Elon thinks that he's a real African. Okay? That's what he thinks. Now, let's get into it. I'm going to share some of his posts. He said Chris Nolan desecrated the Odyssey so that he could be eligible for an Academy Award. I agree that she is beautiful, but casting a Black woman to play a white woman in a foundational work of European literature is no more right than casting a white man to play Shaka Zulu. Well, one could argue, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, Elon knows darn well he would have no problem if, in fact, a white man did get picked to play Shaka Zulu. He'd have no problem with that, okay? That's what he wouldn't have. And can we just say for the record that Helen of Troy is not even a real person? Now, that being said, let's go to this clip that he also posted on social media. Hold on here. I could have sworn I shared it. What he did was he posted a video. I guess I didn't share it. I thought I sent it to my email, but what he did was he posted a video of Representative Justin Pearson like stomping around like somebody having the Holy Ghost when they're in church. And he said basically that's what Christopher Nolan did, okay, to the works of the original writer of the Odyssey. Okay, so, and once he started talking trash, well, other people chimed in and they all started hating because isn't that what they do? Now, he doesn't really think that Lupita's beautiful. You know how I know he doesn't really think that? Because I saw on his post also when he was talking about her in another tweet, he posted the most unattractive picture of her. I think it was a picture from where she must have played a slave or something like that. Now, the only reason he came out and said she was beautiful is because Alec Baldwin came out and addressed it. Okay, hold on, beloveds. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let's see what Alec Baldwin had to say. I'm going to share my screen. I mean, I just find it so amazing that these people get so upset when they have culturally appropriated everything under the sun. Okay, when they have played all sorts of characters that didn't even look anything like them, that they knew were not of their own race. Okay, they've done this a myriad of times, but it's okay for them to do it. Let me get my overlay.
Lupita Nyong'o. On Instagram, he shares a portrait of the actress. In addition, he sends a direct message to entrepreneur Elon Musk. Dear Elon, but she is the most beautiful woman in the world. Alec. The trigger is a debate about Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey. Lupita plays Helen of Troy in it, the legendary beauty from the saga. Some users on the platform X are strongly criticizing this casting. Commentator Matt Walsh claims that no one really considers Lupita to be the most beautiful. He accuses director Christopher Nolan of acting out of fear of accusations of racism. Elon Musk openly agrees with this view. He writes nothing more than the word true underneath one of Walsh's recent posts. Later, he says of Nolan, he just wants to win awards. In a further post, Elon even goes so far as to speak of a loss of personal integrity. But the criticism is not only directed at Lupita. Elliot Page and rapper Travis Scott are also targeted by the entrepreneur. Regarding the rumor that Elliot plays Achilles, Elon writes that it is a twisted idea. Christopher Nolan, on the other hand, defends the hiring of Travis Scott. He explains that he wants to emphasize the tradition of oral storytelling with his rap in.
I mean, the hate is real. You know, I really wish these people could find it in themselves to spend more time worried about their own people than worried about us. Now, Lupita supposedly responded. Lupita Nyong'o dismissed the backlash from Elon Musk and other online critics regarding her casting as Helen of Troy in Christopher Nolan's upcoming film, The Odyssey. Responding directly to the debate over casting, she stated, "You can't perform beauty." Okay, she expressed that she wanted to look beyond looks to understand the character's depth. She said, "It's a myth, not history." Okay, she reminded the public that The Odyssey is a mythological story and the director's cast reflects a global representative world. Okay, she noted that I'm not spending my time thinking of a defense. The criticism will exist whether I engage with it or not. And she's absolutely right. Sit down somewhere. I mean, the hate is so real. The hate is so real. But let's go to what some people said about this on TikTok. I just find it so sad and pathetic that this is what you're spending your time worried about. And then here's the thing. Now, after Alec came out and called him out, then he says, "Oh, I agree that she's beautiful." But no, you don't. Because when Walsh, Matt Walsh posted saying not one person on the planet actually thinks Lupita Nyong'o is the most beautiful woman in the world. But Christopher Nolan knows that that would be called racist if he gave the most beautiful woman role to a white woman. Please make it all make sense. Why would that be racist? I mean, they do this all the time, every day and twice on Sundays, do they not? If you go to Google right now and type in beautiful women, only white women will show up. White women will show up. And then if you want to see beautiful black women, you literally have to type that in specifically. Beautiful black women. So that lets you know that they think that they're the standard, even though they try to imitate and emulate black women all the time. Okay, please pay attention. That's just what it is.
Making out that Lupita Nyong'o, if I got her name right, is going to be Helen of Troy in the new movie, The Odyssey. Now, the problem is Helen of Troy was the most beautiful woman in all the world, and they're making her a black woman. Oh my God. Now, Elon and others are saying, well, what would happen if somebody took the most beautiful woman in Africa and made her a white actress? Yeah, that would be weird. Of course, that's because we've had, thousands of years of oppression against black people, with white people kind of usurping them. So yeah, there's some history there. But let's get more to the general topic here. First of all, I'm Greek. I'm actually Greek national here. And I'm fine with this. I don't care. Yeah, Helen of Troy, she was one of us. But this is acting. The whole point, God, people do this in the movies and in plays all the time. It drives me a little nuts, but they do it. Like Shakespeare I saw Shakespeare once. They put it in the future. And I was like, okay, science fiction, Shakespeare, whatever. That's what they do. They cast men as women and women as men. And by the way, Shakespeare's plays were written for men. They were all men. All the women parts were played by men. So is it wrong to have them played by women? I mean, guys, even Elon said, "Oh, forget about the prettiest woman in Africa." They were also saying, "Well, how would you feel if a white woman was cast as a black woman?" Honestly, I wouldn't care because I think actors should be cast as anybody. This bullshit about only transgender actors can play trans roles and only gay actors can play gay roles—that's just the dumbest thing ever.
No, I'm going to stop him right there. So what he's talking about is the fact that they have what's her name, Ellen Page, who's transgender. They have her, she's a trans man, okay, and she's playing Troy. Now, Ellen Page is a good actress or actor, I guess, at this point, but playing Troy, I thought that was interesting because ever since Brad Pitt played Troy, nobody ever needs to play Troy again, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry. When Brad Pitt played Troy, let's just be honest, they broke the mold. Okay, who saw Troy? Who in here saw Troy? Once in the chat if you did. Okay, once in the chats. Hold on, let me pull up this picture. Let me pull up this picture. Y'all saw Troy, right? Mm-hmm. So when they say When they say Ellen Page is going to play Troy, I'm wondering how this is all going to turn out. I can't wait to see. Okay. Hold on. Let me pull up her pic for those that don't know who she is. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me stop calling her Ellen. I forgot she changed her name to Elliot. My bad. Don't want to be disrespectful. She changed her name to Elliot Page. And so here we go. Let's just take a quick look, shall we? Okay, now here's Brad Pitt as Troy. Okay, that's Brad Pitt. All right, they should have just left it right there, if you ask me. They should have just left it right there. D Major says, since Elon's so obsessed, he should give reparations. Honey, that's a dream. Okay, yours clearly, but not mine. He's never going to give reparations, please. It'll be the last thing he'd do. But thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now that's Ellen Page, who's going to play Troy. Now, I'm sorry, but I have to laugh. I'm not going to be out here acting all crazy like Elon and mad about it because I don't care. I just won't watch it if that's the case. If I don't like it, I just don't watch. Isn't that all Elon has to do, quite frankly, him and Matt Walsh? If they don't like the pick for the part, just don't go to the movie. You don't have to watch. Okay, why can't it just be that? And anyone else who has an issue, why can't you? That's right, Achilles. Remember that? I'm sorry. I can't imagine anybody playing Troy other than Brad Pitt at this point. Okay, now that all being said, let's continue. But like I said, what I'm not going to do is complain about it and go in on Ellen Page or anybody else. Okay, if I don't want to see it, I just won't. Okay, hey, Reggie. All right, because this is all ridiculous. Oh, and also, I was laughing at Ashkan's comment in the chat because Ashkan said he likes his women like he likes his coffee. Short, hot, and black. Ashkan, you are something else, beloved. You are something else. Now, let's listen to this.
Family, Elon Musk is throwing a lot of hate towards Lupita Nyong'o because she's rumored to be playing Helen of Troy in the upcoming movie, The Odyssey. Helen of Troy was said in Greek mythology to be the most beautifulest woman in the world, and that they started the Trojan War over this woman. And so Elon Musk says she's a white woman. Why would they cast Lupita Nyong'o to be Helen of Troy? But let me tell y'all, let me run this down on y'all right quick. The movie Clash of the Titans took place in Ethiopia. Did you know that? That Cephas was the king of Ethiopia. That Cassiopeia, the mother of Andromeda, was the queen of Ethiopia. And that Andromeda was an Ethiopian princess. And there was not one Ethiopian in the movie. That's right, family. Elon Musk is throwing a lot of hate towards Lupita.
The way he was pronouncing Lupita's last name was sending me. Lupita Nyong'o. He didn't call her Lupita Nyong'o, did he? Evelyn says she is not beautiful. Lupita, she is. She's very attractive to me. I mean, hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, beloved. She's very attractive in my book. That's just my opinion. Okay? Nyong'o. I love it. Okay, now let's continue.
Is now clashing with Hollywood over Kenyan superstar Lupita Nyong'o and her role in The Odyssey. The $250 million movie by legendary director Christopher Nolan is already facing backlash before release, with critics like Matt Walsh accusing the film of historical inaccuracy and anti-white casting. But Lupita Nyong'o shut the criticism down fast. She reminded critics that The Odyssey is mythology, not a documentary, and said the film represents a global vision of storytelling with an international cast. Now the internet is divided. Some are attacking Hollywood, while others are defending diversity and African representation on the world.
I just wanted to freeze it right there. Okay, let's continue.
World stage. And here's the crazy part. Experts say the film could still make over $1.2 billion at the box office. From Kenya to Hollywood, Lupita Nyong'o is once again at the center of a global conversation.
Who was that in the chat that said she had pretty legs? There you go, perv.
Subscribe and stay tuned for more global updates.
Okay, Elon is just so racist and he's such a hater, okay? Please pay attention. That's all he is. I don't know why he's so upset and obsessed. But, you know, we're going to talk about how they do exactly what they're accusing others of doing, okay? Please pay attention.
Continuing absurdity of right-wingers, in particular, Elon Musk in this case, being so upset when a black person is cast in what they think is a white person's role. We have this, Lupita Nyong'o being cast as Helen of Troy in Christopher Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey. Lupita has chops, Academy Award-winning actress. She's gorgeous, but apparently that is not good enough. They want black actors and actresses to stick to certain roles. You know, maids and slaves. And who do they think Helen of Troy really was? Someone with blonde hair and blue eyes from Norway or Sweden? Helen is a mythical figure. And here's the story about how Helen came to be pictured in an old Greek vase. Zeus came after being chased by an eagle, I think, as a swan and seduced, or did something worse, to Leda. And Leda laid an egg, and that egg became Helen of Troy. We shouldn't be discussing whether Helen of Troy should be black or white. We should be discussing whether she should be cast with feathers. Bear with me while I tell a story. I was in LA, I don't know, about 15 years ago for work, and I was staying at a hotel, and at the hotel bar, there was a black actress who was a friend of the bartender, and I was just talking to her. She was a graduate of Juilliard, and she was a young, successful black actress in Hollywood. And she was complaining to me, you know, I was trained to be a Shakespearean actor, and I'm really good at it. And what roles am I getting here? Lots of roles. I'm either a crack addict or a prostitute. I'm never a real person. Flash forward 5 years, I'm watching TV in a hotel, just flipping through channels, and I see her face again. And she's not a crack addict. She's not a prostitute. She's a teacher in a successful TV series. I felt so happy for her. But getting back to this Helen of Troy thing, Elon Musk and the right wing want this. She actually played Helen of Troy 20 years ago. Not this. Why? Why? Because obviously they really hate black people. They want to keep them in their place. They're supremacists who only want black people in subservient roles.
That's right. He said in and out of Hollywood, and that's the truth. I love it when the good white people expose the nefarious racist ones, okay? Because that's when you know exactly how they think and what they're up to. Now, let's go to Christopher Nolan, who is making the movie, or has made the movie, okay? He had something to say about it. I'm going to put an overlay on this because I don't know if this is off someone's podcast or whatnot.
Musk offered $50 million to remove Lupita Nyong'o from Times The Odyssey. I would still refuse outright. Firstly, my casting of Lupita was not to conform to...
Hold on. Let me stop right here. I just realized that's AI. Okay? That's an AI video. Honey, let me get that out of here. Y'all have to be careful because these days AI is just too nefarious. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to Newsmax because Finnerty did a segment about it, and he was going in on poor Lupita as well, and also he was going in on Ellen Page, or I'm sorry, Elliot Page. And then he was blaming it on the woke left, I do believe. So let's get into it. These people are so mad. I'm sorry. I mean, why would you be so mad about fictional characters? Okay, mythological characters. Like, who does that? Well, clearly them. I guess their racism has no bounds.
Hollywood director Christopher Nolan, this guy right here, is making a movie based on the book, the poem, The Odyssey. And I'm not kidding when I say any of this. But the role of Achilles will reportedly be played by Elliot Page. Looks like a guy, formerly Ellen Page, meaning the most famous warrior in history, not just Greek history, all of history, Achilles, is about to be played by a transgender woman in a brand new movie. You might remember Ellen Page from the hit movie Juno 20 years ago, where she was definitely a woman.
Are you honestly and truly going to prom with Katrina DeVore?
He is clearly pressed.
Before she became Elliot, and Elliot will now be playing the role of Achilles in this new movie. Achilles, who is described throughout history as being a superhuman warrior, deadly on the battlefield. He even defeated Hector of Troy.
He said deadly on the battlefield. He even defeated Hector of Troy. Now he's speaking of Achilles as if this is a real person in history. Okay, it is mythology. But I want you to pay attention. You see why they would get so upset, these racist devils, why they would get so upset and perplexed and clearly stressed over fictional characters and mythological characters and all that. The reason they get so upset is because they don't have real heroes. They don't have real heroes and superheroes. They don't. They have to make them up. So how dare you not be one of them and play their fictitious heroes? Okay, because you know, they're real heroes that are actually real people are people like George Washington, who was a slave owner. You know, people like Leopold II, they built monuments to him, even though he was a genocidal maniac who murdered 11 million at least Africans in the Congo. Okay, and a myriad of other heinous acts and depraved things that he did. So those are their heroes, okay, who the rest of us with clear minds, you know, frown upon in history. So anytime General Robert E. Lee and the like, okay, Andrew Jackson, those are their heroes. So when they have these made up stories, they have to absolutely hold on to it as tightly as they can. Okay, it's also sad.
You might even remember Brad Pitt played Achilles in a movie 20 years ago, meaning we've gone from Brad Pitt to a girl who dresses as a guy who's 5'1", 118 pounds. That's the person that's going to be playing the greatest warrior in history, because to the left, that is normal.
Y'all hear that? I find it all so interesting. I find it all so interesting. Let's continue.
That's okay. And to top it all off, playing Helen of Troy, the woman who started the Trojan War. The likeness on the right, probably not great. She was beautiful. The woman whose face launched 1,000 ships, whose beauty.
The woman whose face launched 1,000 ships. She wasn't even real. This is so crazy.
Beauty was unparalleled. A woman who was definitely white is going to be played by Lupita Nyong'o. You might be looking at this photograph saying, I think Lupita Nyong'o is black, and you're correct. We haven't adjusted anything. And I've got nothing against Lupita, but I do have a problem with the complete rewriting of history. Helen of Troy was not black. That's not me being mean. That's me telling the truth.
It's also not history. Okay. Ashkan said launched 1,000 ships away from her. Okay, clearly that was not an attractive picture. Look at her. She looks like she's mad. Okay, I'm sorry. This is all just so ridiculous. He's really butthurt and bent out of shape. Like, this is truly laughable. Do you think I would ever get mad about who's playing a role, specifically if it's a fictitious character? Like, that is all so sad. It's all so sad. But let's
the real,
continue.
actual truth, which we tend to do a lot of here. And Achilles was not a 5'1" woman. But to the left, this is all normal. But don't you dare cast Brad Pitt as Martin Luther King Jr. in a movie.
Listen, if they did cast him as Martin Luther King, I just wouldn't go to the movie. Okay, please. It's not that serious.
That would never happen because Martin Luther King Jr. was definitely black, and Brad Pitt, I think, is white. And I don't think Christopher Nolan is going to cast Big Elliot Page, the transgender man, to play the role of George Floyd when they come out with that movie, and they will. I don't think they'll do that. Again, we say all of this because no one else will, but the left in this country are in trouble politically and everywhere else because none of that is normal, even though they claim it is not.
What actually isn't normal is for people to be this upset and bent out of shape over fictitious characters. Okay, that's what isn't normal. Sad to say for him. Okay. Sad to say for him. Desmond says, Queen, my hero is Stoney Jackson. Yes, I know that. If nobody knows it, trust me, I do. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Right, Stoney Jackson it is. Now, they also spoke about this on The View. So let me put an overlay on here. Also, let me just show you all this. These are the kind of people that are mad. Ha! This lady literally got this tattooed on her back. This is a real tattoo. This is not Photoshop. This is not AI. This lady literally got Trump, the American flag, and a MAGA flag tattooed on her back. And we're supposed to be listening to what they're talking about? I think absolutely not. But let's continue.
Are freaking out over Christopher Nolan's casting choices for the upcoming epic, The Odyssey. None of these choices are actually, we don't know who's been cast. It's not finalized, but they are flipping out. Elon Musk, you know, the man from South Africa who was okay with apartheid, is still railing against Lupita Nyong'o playing the fabled most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Troy. Newsmax is also losing it over rumors that Achilles will be portrayed by actor Elliot Page. Again, none of this nobody knows who's been cast. But check this out.
The most famous warrior in history, not just Greek history, all of history, Achilles.
So let me do this first because I know I will have upset people. I don't know that he was an apartheid apologist. I don't know anything about him except that I'm not a fan. So I take it back.
And he was there during that time. So
I'm not saying he was there. I don't know that he was there. I wasn't there. I don't know if he was there. So I'm saying, okay, so before y'all flip out, my question is, why is this upsetting? Why don't you just not go to the movie?
That's an easy solution.
Well, that's an easy solution, but it's you know, I think, you know, racism rears its ugly head often on, and more often now than ever, I think, in our country. But if you are a student of history, you know that scholars have debated for decades the extent to which Greek mythology and civilization were influenced by ancient Egypt and North Africa. It is very clear that Andromeda is described as an Ethiopian princess. We have Othello, the Moor. The Greeks, this idea was also explored in a book called Black Athena. I think people should read it, which argues that classical Greek culture is heavily indebted to Afro-Asiatic and Near Eastern roots. I actually taught Greek mythology to 8th graders. And so I covered this. So people that are saying that Helen of Troy could not possibly be played by a Black woman don't know history.
But what does it matter? Why not just not go to the movie?
It's like when The Little Mermaid and there was this whole uproar. Like Elon Musk has multiple companies valued at over $1 trillion. How do you even have the time to worry about this? But he also said that Christopher Nolan, one of the finest directors of our time, I would argue, just wants the awards. He's got plenty of awards.
And then also you may be less likely to win an award if you cast people that are going to be deemed as controversial and make people who look like him upset. Okay, so anyway, I just find it also childish and quite frankly ignorant. Now, also they're upset about Betty Boop being played by the Black actress Quinta Brunson, as you can see on the screen. And she really looks like a Black version of Betty Boop. And in fact, Betty Boop came from a Black woman. That idea of Betty Boop came from a Black woman. Okay, please pay attention. Now, Betty Boop was colored white in cartoon animations, but her real life history is Black. The character was stolen from Cotton Club singer Esther Jones, known by her stage name, Baby Esther. She sang songs like I Want to Be Loved by You, Boop Boopy Doo, in a baby voice, thus her name. Esther tried but never won back the rights to the Betty Boop character that was clearly based on her. And that's because they stole it. So how are you mad when you literally stole this whole idea from a Black woman and she never was allowed to profit off of it? Okay, there she is again. But they're really mad about it. So anyway, I find it all interesting. Let's get into it. I mean, it's really so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh. Who could be mad about it besides an idiot? Let's go to the clip. Likes up, everyone. Please, please don't forget to like and share. Okay, your likes are greatly appreciated. Thank you.
If you're not aware, Quinta Brunson was just cast to play Betty Boop in the upcoming movie. And some people are big mad about it. Can you guess which people are big mad about it?
Betty Boop herself was not a Black cartoon character. The argument is that a lot of the voice and mannerisms associated with Betty Boop likely originated from Black performers first.
People are mad because they don't want to see Betty Boop being played by somebody Black. I was always under the impression that Betty Boop was light-skinned.
Today we're making Betty Boop macarons filled with dragon fruit buttercream while we have a little history lesson.
You know Betty Boop. Big eyes, short dress, the original cartoon bombshell, even before Jessica Rabbit.
Did you know that Betty Boop was based on Helen Kane, also known as the Boop Oopa Doop Girl? Oh, but wait a minute. She stole her act from Esther Jones, also known as Baby Esther, a young singer and staple at Harlem's Cotton Club.
Baby Esther became known for her signature baby-voiced singing style, including the famous Boop Oopa Doop scat singing.
And guess who came to see Baby Esther perform? That's right, Helen Kane.
Let's bake.
And Helen got really popular imitating Baby Esther's style. But listen, it's hard to stay relevant when you're not innovative. And imitation is not innovation.
Baby Esther's vocal technique and playful performance style influenced the later creation of Betty Boop.
I'll say it again. You could not have longevity without innovation.
Look at that silhouette.
So after Helen's 15 minutes were up, she fell on hard times and sued the artist of Betty Boop, Max Fleischer. I mean, because he was raking in the dough. He probably had to scoop up the cash and put it in those black trash bags like the scrippers do when they clear the stage.
Betty is really that girl. All the hot girls of the time were named Betty.
However, Helen lost the case, with the defense using recordings of Esther to prove that Helen's act was in fact not Helen's act. It was Esther's.
If you looked closely, you'd see the macarons were piped one way, but finished with a richer, more melanated tone. I call that poetic justice, reclaiming Betty Boop and setting the record.
Now, what I'm going to need her to do is explain to me how she knows that the strippers leave the stage with their money in a bag, a trash bag, no less. How does she know that? Ma'am, how do you know that? Now, let's go to Quinta Brunson.
I was about, even though I don't always agree, but I love every single opinion that is had.
Sometimes I genuinely forget how removed the Broadway and theater world is from mainstream Hollywood, because yesterday it was announced that the wonderful Quinta Brunson is developing and starring in a Betty Boop movie, which, like, I completely see the vision. 100%. But then the comments are filled with the classic racist people being like, oh, how could a Black woman play her? Betty Boop's not Black. You know, the people who lack like regular media literacy, knowing that Betty Boop is literally a caricature of a Black woman. Anyway, the reason it's interesting is because I feel like I've already done this discourse before. And I forget that most people don't know that. I forget that most people don't even know that Boop the musical even existed. They don't even know of the existence of We Could Go See Boop. Then I remember that I live in a bubble. I live in a bubble. Anyway, Quinta, if for any reason you feel like you need an understudy in this project of yours, please call up Jasmine Amy Rogers, because she's done the homework, she's done the time, she's nailed it. Now in the fall, you could go see Boop on tour. But anyway, I support
Okay, I mean, just the hate of it all. So sad.
So yesterday I made a video about Betty Boop and how a lot of people don't know that she was based off of a black woman. And y'all were all saying that y'all knew that, acting like people aren't on the internet saying completely racist shit every single day about the fact that now the live action movie is gonna have a black woman playing the role of Betty Boop as it should be. Look at these comments, y'all. Just take a look at this. Get the fuck with all this blackwashing. It wouldn't be tolerated the other way around. Disgusting blackwashing once again. No. Stop changing characters. Betty Boop is white. Yeah, and I'm going to play Rosa Parks. That's weird. Betty Boop was white and 100 pounds lighter. I don't think that will work. And then someone educated corrected them beneath, as you can see. And what's also crazy is people are in the comments saying that the woman they chose to play Betty Boop is fat. Fat where? Fat where? I know it may not be y'all, it may not be some of my followers, but there are a lot of people pissed off that they chose a black woman to play Betty Boop. I'm seeing it every day, and I don't understand. And even if, let's say, even if Betty Boop was based off of a white woman, let's not forget the way they did Hallie for Ariel when she was playing the Little Mermaid. Like, this is a fictional character, and y'all are up in arms because they chose a black girl to play it. Like, we literally can't have anything without y'all getting mad. And honestly, what this shows me, it just shows me and reminds me the hatred towards black people. Like, how much y'all hate black people. And at the end of the day, my question is, what did we actually do to y'all? Like, what did we do to you? I really want to know.
That's the thing. You don't have to do anything to haters. You don't have to do anything to haters. They're going to be mad just because. Okay? They're going to be mad just because.
Becoming furious over a cartoon character. Not that the movie looked bad, not that the acting was terrible, but because a black woman was chosen to play her. That's exactly what happened after award-winning Quinta Brunson was chosen as the new face of Betty Boop. Within hours, social media erupted. Across the internet, thousands of angry comments exposed the debate that went far beyond animation. It wasn't about Betty Boop at all. It was about race. What it revealed is how quickly nostalgia can turn into outrage the moment Black faces enter the traditional white spaces. Here's the part that many people ignored. The original inspiration behind Betty Boop came from a Black performer during the Harlem Renaissance. So ask yourself, why does Quinta Brunson's casting strike such a emotional reaction?
Okay? Because of racism and hatred, no less. Now, this reminded me of something that I'm going to go back to. This happened in 2013, and I'm sure most of you remember. If you all remember, Megyn Kelly got upset and started preaching and telling everybody how Santa Claus, who's also a fictional character, by the way, was white, and so was Jesus. Now, we all know, according to the Bible, that Jesus absolutely is not white anywhere.
Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed and I said, oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa. you know? And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white, but this person is just arguing that maybe we should also have a black Santa. But, you know, Santa is what he is. And just so you know, we're just debating this because someone wrote about it, kids. Okay, I wanted to get that straight. But Jedediah, when I read the piece, the author seems to have, you know, she's African-American, and she seems to have real pain at having grown up with this image of a white Santa. And she speaks about it kind of honestly, saying, I didn't really understand why that had to be.
Yeah, she wants Santa to be inclusive. And I had the same reaction. Initially, I was thinking, oh, this is more politically correct nonsense. This is hypersensitivity in our culture. And then you read the piece and you really walk through the steps with her. I think it's a tribute to her writing. And you realize if you were a young kid and you were African-American and your Santa Claus was white, it would affect you when you went to school. Maybe you wouldn't feel that you were part of that tradition. Now, she suggests that a penguin should be Santa.
Okay,
and
that's where she goes off the rails.
Well, I think that's kind of interesting, though, to have an animal, which is something that kids love, sort of brings that cartoonish component into it. And I think that makes all kids kind of feel welcome in the process. So I see where she was going with that.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't make all kids feel.
Hey, I like penguins.
It makes all birds feel welcome.
Kids
Monica,
like penguins.
You know, but okay, so I've given, her name is Aisha Harris. I've given her her due on where she was going with it. But just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. You know, I mean, Jesus was a white man too, but you know, it's like he was a historical figure. I mean, that's a verifiable fact, as is Santa. I just want the kids watching to know that.
Yes.
But my point is, how do you just revise it, you know, in the middle of the legacy of the story and change Santa from white to black?
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
This is so sad. Like, there she was trying to over a fictitious character. That's the thing. Okay, it's never ending with these clowns. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about some times in history when they have done what they're accusing us of doing. Okay, remember that movie, The Gods of Egypt? Ha! That's The Gods of Egypt? Yeah. Remember that? One black person, maybe two, because Chadwick Boseman, I think, played in there. But the gods of Egypt were white? Really? Jesus is white? No, he absolutely isn't. In fact, the picture of Jesus, for anyone who doesn't know, came from Pope VI's son, Caesar Borgia. That's him right there with the hat on. That's where they got that picture of Jesus from, painted by Leonardo da Vinci, whom was his lover. And by the way, Caesar Borgia actually R-worded his own sister, okay? That's what he did, and killed his brother, I do believe. Now, here is John Wayne, who played Genghis Khan, okay? And remember when they spoke about Othello, Sonny talked about Othello on The View just now? Well, and she was saying that was a black character from Shakespeare. Yeah, he was. But guess who played him in the movie? In blackface. That is the actor, Caucasian actor, Laurence Olivier. And this is what he really looked like. But they want to talk about us. Yeah, I find this all interesting. Okay, this is just sad and pathetic. This is all just so sad and pathetic. Right, I caught that too. Neon Black said they love bringing up George Floyd. Yes, of course they do. Okay, of course they do. So, you know. Ashkan's absolutely right. I have to agree, beloved. Ashkan said no white woman has the curves of Betty Boop. Okay? I absolutely agree. Reggie says they hate the truth. Yes. And a good question is, like that woman said, what did we ever do to them? Okay, nothing. That's what. We didn't do anything to them. But here they are, still mad, butthurt, sad, and bent out of shape. Okay? I just wanted to point out the contradictions, the hypocrisy that they always engage in. All right? I mean, they are so pressed, and it's so stupid, but it just goes to show how deeply rooted their racism and hatred is. Okay? It absolutely is. But hold on. Let's talk about Netflix. Because Netflix, let me tell you something. Netflix is mad and hating on Michael Jackson because the movie Michael is out, and it's been doing very well at the box office. So now in the midst of it, here they come with the bullshit. Let's get into it. I did a TikTok about this yesterday. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Netflix has a new documentary about Michael Jackson coming out June the 3rd. Let's get into it. So it seems that in the documentary, they're bringing up the allegations. That's what it seems to be focusing on, bringing in witnesses and accusers and the like. But I find that interesting because of the timing of it all. And also, the bottom line is Michael Jackson was acquitted of those charges. Also, the FBI investigated him for a whole decade, and they didn't find anything. I am so sick and tired of them trying to destroy the legacy of people who look like me, specifically someone like Michael Jackson, who was absolutely acquitted of the charges. And if you remember, when all of this was going on, they shouted the accusations, but they whispered the acquittal. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the movie Michael has been dominating the box office since its release in April. And I find it interesting because in the midst of all this, here they come with the BS. Let's not forget what they did with Michelle Obama and her documentary once Melania's documentary came out. Okay, let's not forget about that Kevin Hart roast, which was nothing more than a minstrel show. You see, those were racist things cloaked in comedy. At the end of the day, many people use those type of situations to express what's really in their heart, how they really feel. And then for those who want to say, oh, it's freedom of speech, oh, it's just comedy, we're supposed to go over the line. Well, you know, that may be true, but there are some things and some lines that you just don't cross. You see, and they know this because you don't see them ever, any of these comedians, making jokes about Bibi's people or talking about what happened in Germany in 1945. But they have no problem talking about slavery and talking about stereotypical things about us, okay, and taking us back to Jim Crow with their jokes and talking about lynchings and all of those things, talking about George Floyd. They have no problem disrespecting us, okay? And Kevin Hart, him sitting there laughing like everything was so funny. Nothing was funny about any of those jokes, if you ask me. But they can disrespect us. But there's other people that they know better than to do that to. So please don't let them tell you that it's just comedy, okay? Because they know who to joke with. Please pay attention. And now, mind you, I'm not saying that they should make jokes about Bibi's people and what happened. No, they shouldn't do that because it's disrespectful. But at the same time, my point is they need to show us the same respect. But the problem is we're our own worst enemy because if we keep allowing them to do these things and we don't give them any pushback and we continue to patronize them, we continue to give them our money, okay, at the end of the day, what's their incentive to stop? We need to start hitting these people in the pockets the moment that they show us the least sign of disrespect. Stop letting them play in our faces. We all need to cancel our Netflix subscriptions. Now, I know some of you aren't going to do it because 50 Cent's new show, Nemesis, is out. Okay, but at the end of the day, what's more important? Okay, them trampling on our feelings, them disrespecting us to our faces, and us being foolish enough to continue to line their pockets, okay, or a show that, you know, we just think is pretty good. Okay, and so think about those things. But with that all being said, you know, it's really time for us to stand up and stop allowing the disrespect. Okay, stop allowing them to think they can say and do anything to us and say anything about us. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, because I'm totally over it at this point. Oh, God says, well, they hating so bad. I'm going to be boopy doing to the theater with my 47-piece wig in support of Quinta. Okay, Black women are the standard. Love you, Queen. Thank you, beloved. And I love you right Black. Okay, thank you for your insight to the topic. Okay, and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. I mean, they just need to get over it. Okay, they need to get over it. All right. I mean, when we see the foolishness that they have done, they have made a mockery out of real characters. Okay. That's what they've done. They make a mockery out of real people. Okay. We all know that the ancient Egyptians, i.e., the ancient Cometians, were absolutely Black. All right. So they can sit down somewhere at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned. It's just, and this right here, that right there is cringe. Okay. I never even knew until I started looking up stuff that Laurence Olivier even did that. I never knew that he had blackface. It's all so crazy. All right, but anyway, I digress. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Did I forget something? Let me just make sure before I roll out of here. Okay, yeah, I told it all. So anyway, Listen, the hate never stops. And at this point, none of us should be surprised. Okay, none of us should be surprised. That reminds me of something. Let me just play this.
Playtime is over, bitch. It's a lie. Wrap the fuck up. Ain't y'all had enough fun? Yeah, y'all had enough fun, bitch. That's why I ain't fucking with this nonsense. Cause I know y'all ain't paying attention. Bitch, it's time to work out. Playtime is over. Bitch, the sky is blue. Not white, not gray, but blue. Return to
Okay, please pay attention. She was possessed by the spirits of the ancestors, no less. Okay. I started and said, what the hell is this? I don't know what y'all are talking about, because when I heard her do that, it sent chills through my soul. She said playtime is over, and that's what I keep telling y'all, okay? Some of our people on the playground while these other people are on the battlefield, okay? And she said it's time for oneness. At the end of the day, she said the sky is blue, not gray. Y'all better get into it, all right? Y'all better get into it. That didn't send a chill down y'all's spine. I literally heard the ancestors, okay? Please pay attention. Just Anticipate said, it scared me, Queen. Anyway, with that all being said, listen, I'm out of here. I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beautiful beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And I will see you all in the morning, bright and early, with your morning wake-up call. Until then, peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Quinta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me?